Hi, and welcome to my Happy Valentine's video series. This is video number 5, and I'm designer Jen Gallacher, and today I'm going to be creating a little pennant. And I'm going to hang that pennant from this little frame that I got at a local craft store, and it is designed to hold a photo, but I thought it would be really fun to create a pennant that could then hang off the edges of this particular frame. Here's some of the papers and things that I pulled to use for this particular pennant, and I'm just going to start pulling things and we will try and make a cute little pennant to work for this frame. So to create some custom hearts, you can use a die cut machine or a digital die cut machine, but I'll just take a sheet of extra cardstock that I have lying around, just like we did in kindergarten or first grade. I'll cut out some heart shapes till I get it to the width that I like, and then I'll just kind of visually see how I like how that looks, and then I will go ahead and trace that on a sheet of pattern paper. I'll just trace that along the back, and this is a sheet of Dots and Stripes pattern paper from Echo Park Paper. I like these tone-on-tone patterns, and you could pick any. This is actually an old paper from their Christmas collection, their Christmas Dots and Stripes collection, but it matched the theme that I wanted to use. So again, just making your own templates is really simple, and then you just hand cut out the heart. So depending on what tools you have on hand, like I said, you could use a digital die cut machine, or you can use this technique to simply cut it from your paper. This dot side is also cute, but I like the diagonal line, so we'll use that first. And then I'm going to use a tiny hole punch, and I keep them in several different sizes. This one is quite small. It's almost just a little bit larger than what a paper piercer would do. And I'm going to pierce both sides about equidistance, and that will form the areas where I will string thread through later. So then I have a bunch of different doilies and things that I've collected. This is from the Sweetest Things My Mind's Eye collection, which is not a Valentine collection, but I thought it would be a great element with texture to add to my project. And then I'm going to use some pattern paper from the Devoted collection from Carta Bella, and I really like the blues in this collection. And this is their Borders paper, and I'm just going to cut some off this. When I go looking for elements to use on my projects, I start shopping my stash for colors or elements or textures that I like, and then I just make them work for my project. Sometimes they don't make the cut and I've pulled them and I end up putting them back, but usually I start with a piece of pattern paper or an embellishment or my photo as the inspiration piece. So this is a sticker from My Mind's Eye, and it says, "Never forget how much you are loved." I'm only going to use the part that says, "You are loved." I cut my stickers all the time to make them work for whatever I am doing. So I just start layering different elements. Until I get it the way that I like. I'm actually going to add some crochet twine around the center of this. And to do that, I just wrap it around the notches several times. Lots of different texture. Bring in ribbon, bring in twine. If you had crocheted elements, if you know how to crochet, that would be even more exciting. Whatever you can do to kind of make it special. You can add more hard textures like gems or enamel dots. Just look for ways to dress it up. So I'll just start moving things around and playing with them and seeing how I like them until I get them exactly how I want. And I'm going to add some toothpick flags to that. These are just common kitchen toothpicks. I know, really fancy. And then again, I'll come back to the sticker sheet and I will pull off some of these stickers. And I just cut off the portions that I want to use. Make flags. And then you can even use your scissors to cut the ends off the toothpicks so they are the exact height that you want them. I like the elements of gray in both of these collections. I'll use the C part of this sticker. And I'm using glue dots to hold those elements in place. So once I get them down, I'll show you what it looks like. So the glue dot helps hold it both on the heart, and it holds the sticker in place and just reinforces it a little bit. We'll use a big glue dot for the doily. And then we'll layer a sticker inside. If you have a sticker that has little teeny holes that need to be out, this is a little trick that I learned. Is you just stick it on your finger several times and it pulls off those backing. Of course, it's maddening to get those off later, but it does add a little bit of a fun element. And then I'll add a red button to the center. And just ignore those little dots on my finger. I will definitely get those off later. One of the hazards of paper crafting. So I like to keep various colors of crochet twine. There is also different widths of twine that you can use. There's baker's twine. Divine Twine also has some new solids, and I'll be sure to link those in the product section. So be sure to check those out. And then we'll just adhere this in the center of that sticker. And I want that sticker to stay, so I'm going to add a glue dot just in case, because the texture might not hold that in place. So you can see I just kind of layer and do different things. And then these are Studio Calico gems, and again, these are not designed for Valentine's, but I'm going to make them work for my page, and I'm going to use the gray. It very closely matches the gray in the My Mind's Eye sticker. So you can see how I've created the first heart. I'm going to go ahead and get the supplies and we'll start the second heart. So we're going to go ahead and start with this little heart template that I made, and this time I'm going to cut smaller hearts. And again, we'll just test them with the frame to make sure I'm going to have enough room. Cut it just a smidge smaller. It's very scientific, this process. So I like that size heart. So again, I'll take my pattern paper that I want to use, and I'm going to use some of this Devoted pattern paper. It is journaling cards on the other side. And I will just trace the heart shape twice, because I want the same colored heart on both sides. And then we'll cut those out. So it doesn't matter if you don't have a nice die cutting machine. One thing that you can do is you can use any kind of template. You can hand make your own. You can print off clip art from the computer and use that. You can use things as simple as cookie cutters, whatever you have on hand. Just make it work. I will definitely link you to some supplies that will make this job a little bit easier, but you can definitely use what you have on hand to create this project. Again, I'll use my small hole punch. You could also use a paper piercer if you want. I just want my holes to be nice and large. And then I want my holes about in the same place, so I'll just re-punch them through the top that I already punched through. So there you see my two hearts. Besides hearts, I wanted to add some element of color, so I cut from the journaling cards this devoted card, and then this was a card that had additional journaling on the bottom of it. It said lots of love, but I just wanted the red, so I cut the red strips off. And we're going to cut the bottom of this devoted journaling card so that it has a pennant edge. And then we'll take one of the strips and we'll cut it at a diagonal. And when I'm cutting at a diagonal, I am going to match the pattern here. So I will carefully cut it along the pattern. And that makes sense to the eye to see the pattern like that. And then you can make that as short or as long as you want. And you can add additional sticker elements from your sticker sheet. You could add buttons. You can pop dots elements, which I will do with this gray sticker. You can even lay additional items over the top of your pattern. I'm going to do that with the additional strip of red. And I like an off-centered look. And then just trim off the excess from the back. We'll put a UR on this one. So just from pulling from your basic stash, you can start to add a little bit of dimension. We'll add some gray epoxy stickers to this one. And then for this one, we'll add a button. I usually match the colors or try to bring in the same element more than once. So if I've used a button once, I try and bring it in another time, 3 times if possible. And if not, just enough so that I like it. And then you just keep embellishing to the point where you feel like it looks complete. And you can add as much or as little as you want. You could add some stamping, additional ribbons. So then I'll start to kind of lay it out flat to get a feel for the way that it's going to look. And I'm kind of envisioning that the devoted will kind of go there with a little bit sticking behind. And I like my things to look a little bit not matchy. Let me zoom in and let you see what it looks like a little bit better. So this is what I'm going to be working with. Then you can use additional twine and you'll thread it through all of your elements, and then you can add clothespins at the top to hold it in place for some extra decoration. I'll go ahead and put the banner together and then prepare to hang it on the frame so you can see what it looks like completed. So here you see what it looks like when it is tied to the frame. You could add a picture, you can add a title here if you want, you can do whatever you want. And you could easily hang this from a shelf or make it as long or as short as you want. You could add words to it so that it's a title banner, whatever you want. Thank you for joining me today for today's Happy Valentine's project. Be sure to visit my blog for the complete supply list for creating this project, and don't miss out on the other videos included in this series.